All right. Greetings, Grand Rising, and welcome to everyone. We are live. You are tuned in to the Peak Wellness Hour. And I'm so sorry I'm looking down right now because I got behind. I was supposed to share this. I'm sorry, y'all. I was supposed to share this on our Peak Wellness Hour page because right now we cannot go live on our Peak Wellness Hour page on YouTube. So I'm trying to share this so that it can be seen on that page. So give me just a second. I'm so sorry. But while you all are waiting for me to get it together and empower all of us, all of Queen and I to empower all of us, and we be empowered, we're going to take a second. Let me do this really quickly. I want you all to grab a pen and paper. Please hit the like button, share button, and subscribe. And we're going to get started in just a second. My apologies. Okay, welcome back. Can we try that again? So here's the thing. I'm on two different phones trying to make sure again that we build our connections. I don't like the word followers. Our connections on the Peak Wellness Hour Facebook page. So again, we are 6 subscribers away on that platform and that page so we can go directly live. Until then, I have to tap in and share and do all this stuff. So if you all can help us and support the Peak Wellness Hour by going over to Facebook and subscribing and following our page, we would gratefully appreciate that. Okay, so we are here, Peak Wellness Hour. What is it, the second Saturday of the month? Year just keeps going by fast. The days are going by fast. This year is almost gone. And speaking of the year almost gone, Queen Edith and I were speaking before we started. We're always speaking, y'all. It's not like we're just playing around and we're fashionably late as we are usually. We're always having good conversations and we get lost in those conversations. But she shared something really awesome with me. And I want her to share that with you all. So Queen, pastor, professor, entrepreneur, CEO, what did I forget? Therapist, Edith.
All of the above, and yeah. Hi. Happy second Saturday of the month of August. Today is special. Today is special because my traditional area, or one part of who I am, is celebrating the Homeward Festival. The Ghana traditional area is celebrating the Homeward Festival. At this time, my families, all my mother's side, my father's side, and all of the others, they have gathered. There's a big family reunion. We eat something called kwekwe. Kwekwe. We say kwekwe, but it's kwekwe. And today is the day my children, my sister, everybody are gathering. And I'm jealous, but I can't be there. But I'm gonna try to wish them a happy new year, wish them happy Homo War Festival. It's the beginning of the year for us. So I'll try and say it in my native language. Share this, okay? And don't laugh. I'm going to try to interpret it. Game, afi na akpewo. Banyoani na wo fe momo, wo yegbo, wo yegbena. Alonte dinko akafo wote. Ni wose afile watashi nekeno. Ni wose afile eha wo fe neken. Ni nyemi afe nyemi ni afi aya ni ebani nawo tra ni omanya blawo. And in English it says, hail to the new year, may we live to see the end of the year, may the eighth day meet us so that we are good as new. May we celebrate the Gbo festival of September and Bena festival of May. Let no evil cross our paths. Let us sit around. Let us be around to sit together in the new year. Let brother be brother. Let sister be sister. And that in the next year, we may be more prosperous, bound with sisterly and brotherly love as the year goes round to meet us again, that we may strike gold, may glory surround us all year through. Happy New Year, Game. Happy New Year. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Let me ask you a question. And you all know what we do. Those of you all that connect with us, my queen mother here in the house, aka Rhonda,
Hello, Queen Mother.
you know how we do. I've got my queen aunt, Gloria Carter, in the in the digital building also. So you all know how we do. If you're in the building, the digital building, please say hello to us. Let us know you're here and engage with us. So we're going to be talking, we're doing the hormone thing and all that stuff. So I think this kind of fits right in because I have some questions for you real quick before we dive into the topic at hand. So first of all, could you explain to us how it is the Ghanaian New Year? I know, so for the United States, it is January 1st. How does that work? I have another question that was so profound. How does
So
that
this is not Ghana.
Mhm.
This is my small traditional area where I come from.
Okay.
History believes that we migrated from Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
And when we migrated, it is believed or it is said, and I may be wrong, I stand to be corrected, that there was famine. We didn't have food. But then again, we planted corn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this time, this season, corn is in abundance. So we made all kinds of meals from corn. So
Okay.
the traditional food is made out of corn. So we get together, families get like a family reunion thing. Families get together. And when you say family, it's not me, my husband, and my children. We go to one of our grandparents' house. In this case, our grandfather's houses. Okay, my mother's father, my father's father, the different families, we gather. We cook and we eat together. We cook, we pray, and we eat together. The women cook, the men hang out, we eat together. And in one of my family houses, there's always a live band. They invite a live band. They invite people from the neighborhood. So they eat, they dance. Celebration starts in about probably an hour, which is about 11 is 3 p.m. Ghana. Food is cooked,
Mm-hmm.
is served. People are coming. We wear white to thank God for bread because we come together once a year for this. So it's
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily the new year, but it's our year to get together once a year. So for us, it's the beginning of another year. And we come
Okay.
together and we eat. So the festival is called Homo. It says hooting at hunger. Hoots because they suffered during their transition from Nigeria to Ghana. So now we found food. We are enjoying this food. We are hooting at hunger. So everybody is welcome to eat. It doesn't matter whether they are family. It's open. Open. Anybody and everybody come, let's eat. Let's hoot at hunger. And let not suffer hunger throughout the year until we meet again.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And thank you for sharing that. So one more question, and I promise you all, thank you all for tuning in. Again, please like, share, please share with someone. It's gonna be a good conversation. And make sure you subscribe. So tying into again the topic, you when you translate that into English, it was very profound. And I was thinking as you read that, that those words, that expression, putting that into the universe, declaring that, at the beginning of the year, we've
Yes.
spoken, how many years have we been here now? At least 2. We've spoken about New Year resolutions and starting again and starting anew, and particularly here in the United States, it is making New Year's resolutions. Halfway through the year, we talk about, where are we at with that, and most of us have not, put the boots on the ground. But that was so specifically profound, where you're making that declaration collectively to change the atmosphere by way of the mindset,
Yes.
mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, not being hungry, just having that mindset. So I love that. I love that. And I think that is a great way to start this conversation. Um,
I'm gonna post something to our page. I just saw it, so I'll copy this and hopefully it's the right one. But it's our tradition. I just want to share it with us. So I'm gonna put it here as
okay.
we celebrate. If anybody's interested in knowing about the Ga people, I'm a Ga, so I was speaking the Ga language. And people who know the language will tell I'm butchering the language, but I'm speaking it. It doesn't matter.
Is it slang? Is that slang considered slang? Guidance slang. Cool thing. You know what though? But the effort is there, and that that sharing of that. So if you are aware of that, you all share that in the comment section. If you are from Ghana, some from Ghana, say Happy New Year to them. And I'll tell you this, it's
Well,
also,
not from Ghana.
well, okay, but the tribe, okay,
The
that makes
Ga
sense.
tribe, the Ga
Okay,
traditional area where I come from.
okay,
It's not small, but it's not Ghana. Every we have so many traditions, and
mm-hmm.
this is one of my traditions. This
Okay.
is one because I come from different parts of Ghana and Liberia. That's where my mother
Okay.
is concerned. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. And then my queen aunt said, Gloria Carter, aka Gloria Carter, mentioned with her spiritual life, she celebrates the Jewish New Year. That is
Yes.
September 22nd, 25th. I'm gonna tell y'all now. I would love to have a deeper conversation about our traditions and our, just learning and growing. Have a
Yes.
conversation for that one, Queen Aunt.
Yes.
We're gonna have to do it outside of a Saturday on a broadcast.
We
So
should. We should get together one
we
of these days.
should. And that is something that we are working on before we dive in. That is something that we are working on with the Peak Wellness Hours, having more conversations throughout the week. And diving deeper into things because we touch the surface on the, but we get so into it. It's never, an hour is never enough. And you can't keep people's attention for longer than an hour. That's some grace and mercy there. So thank you all for sticking with us
Yes,
for the
indeed.
hour 5, hour 10 minutes. Thank you for hanging around when we're 10, 15 minutes late. Thank you for the dedication. But we do want to have conversations. And we've talked about this. I've said it, here recently before, we don't want to be divisive and have conversations that cause divide. But in spirit and truth, we have to stop hindering growth and empowerment because we're emotional or because we don't understand or we don't agree or whatever it is. So we want to be able to create that space where we can dive deeper. I know Queen Edith does her Bible studies and prayers on Wednesdays and Fridays. She is in a church a brick and mortar setting on Sundays, but she's also doing it virtual. And I respect her because it doesn't matter if there's 10, 1 or none. She is faithful and she is there. So those things, if you need those things, and that connection, she's there for that. We have Shawn A White. He's always doing broadcasts, very versatile in what he does. So we want to be able to create these safe spaces for you all because we are here to grow and evolve, empower and be empowered. And that's where the conversation comes in with the stress hormone, cortisol. So we started talking about this. Okay. What's that, Queen?
That's my family house. I don't know if you can. And if you show us the quick play,
Send it to me.
show
I'll see if I
us
can
some
pull it
of
up.
the quick play. Trend quick play, no.
Okay.
This is the food.
Now you know I can't see that. Now we eat this.
It's made out of it's made out of corn.
Okay. Can you put that
So
on the
this is
Facebook
the
page for
quickly.
everybody to see?
This is a live video. I just called my
Oh,
sister.
okay.
So she will do a video, we'll put it there. I'll share it on my
Okay.
wall. So yeah.
Okay.
It's awesome. Yes. And this is my grandfather's house, my mom's
Wow.
dad's house. So
See,
yeah.
you're talking about things, and we're going to change the topic of conversation because right now I
We
want to dive
can't.
into tradition. I want to dive into tribes. I want to dive into heritage. I want to dive into legacy. Let me fix my stress hormone right now. Right? Oh my gosh, we have to have these conversations. Thank
Okay,
you.
Queen, hold on. This is the soup.
Okay. What's in it?
It's meat, fish, whatever you want in it, but it's made out of the palm fruit.
Okay.
The palm fruit, so it's called palm nut soup. And the oil comes from the palm fruits. It's a natural one. Look at it. So it's a
Turn it
lot
a little
of
bit.
food.
Turn it. Yep. Okay. 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 Right there. Okay. Okay.
You see the shed. The women are cooking. The women are cooking. So your grandmother, your great grandma, all of us, that is my auntie. All of them get together and cook. So it's a big social thing for the family.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to get on with our show.
Yes. Well, let's tie it in though. Let's tie it in. So like I said, we don't have conversations that try to be divisive, but talking about these things, let's talk about, what's causing our stress. So the conversation is cortisol. If you all go back and watch last week, we started talking about hormones and imbalances and all that whatnot. And Queen says, let's break it down, and let's start with cortisol. And we'll say this. We are a part of the healthcare community. We are not physicians. We are not giving medical advice.
Nope.
We are sharing the information that we know. We encourage you all to share your information. If you have different information, then please feel free to share that. We are not here to be right. We are here to be correct. So we are just sharing what we know. So please engage with this conversation. So we started with hormones last week, imbalances. Now we're here with the cortisol thing, with the stress hormone. And as we're talking about family and tribes and legacies and all these different things, celebrations, all these different things, it brings me to the topic where a lot of us are so stressed out in our daily lives, we don't take time to celebrate. And I mean really celebrate, not showing up because, somebody has a birthday and you got to show up, but being present in the celebration of life. A lot of us are existing and not living. And there is a difference. All because you are alive does not mean you are living. You are existing. Mold exists. Bacteria exists. Viruses, you're not living. You're not thriving. You're not walking in purpose. And everything has purpose. Everything, even when it looks like it's for your bad, it serves a purpose. See, and I believe with stress, this conversation, we're going to break some things down, but our bodies. Queen Edith has spoken about the book, The Body Writes The score.
Keeps
Is
the
that it?
score.
It keeps the
The
score.
body keeps the score.
Yes. So when we think about these things, you know, what's stressing me out? Is my family stressing me out? Is the car, the job? What's happening internally? What's happening with the hormones, with your organs, with your mental, with your spirit, all those things that are inducing the stress in our life. My husband, my king, was talking earlier, and I told him, stop talking to me. If you're gonna say all this good stuff, you're not gonna get on this platform and share it. Then just stop talking, you know, because he was, and I was just messing with him, but he was speaking truth about the conversation with cortisol, and he is also a nurse and a Marine vet. Shout out to my king. But
Thank you for your service.
yes. But he disputed out. You all know I will look at the screen and I'll read things because I will go all over the place in my thoughts. And I want to keep it there. But he sat there. I was like, he says, what are you all going to talk about? I was like, the cortisol and the hormones and stress. He was like, yeah. I wish he was sitting here right now. He says, yeah, you know, that's what happens when you have this buildup of cortisol and, you know, it's supposed to be released from your body. So the fight or flight thing, we'll talk about that in a second. But, you know, it produces at a rapid amount and it's supposed to go away. When it doesn't go away and there's a buildup, now your body gets conformed to this deformity in your body. That's what cancer cells are, things that are not recognizable. And now your body produces something that's fighting against what you produce. This is what's happening. So he's explaining it to me. And he's like, yeah, you know, so all this extra cortisol, and we'll talk about what that is in a second, is causing the stress. And because you're so comfortable with all the stress. Good morning. How are you? I'm fine. How was your day? Yeah. You know, all these things, and it's a buildup. And now it rearranges your because now your body's used to moving a different kind of way. Your hormones and your internal have adjusted responses in life. And so when we're talking about hormonal imbalance, we have to get these things in check. We've talked about eating right. We've talked about, you know, meditation, prayer, exercise, all these different breathing. These are essential things to keep our bodies in check. And we totally take for granted the mechanisms that are required for this body to do what it does. And it does it all by itself. And then when we start getting involved, we jack everything up. Our bodies are meant to heal themselves, regenerate, live long and healthy lives. Being sick is not a part of being elderly. Having pain is not a part of being elderly. Being bedbound, not a part of being elderly. That's not how that works. And if you want Queen to take it in scripture and go biblically, this is not how our bodies were created to be break down the way they do. What is this? 60 years, 70, 80 years? You get 80 summers? 80 summers. This summer's over. Next summer's over. I'm 43. You get 80 summers. 80 summers. How do you treat your body to get 80 more? Queen?
I want to ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
So from what King Kevin said, cortisol is released during stress times.
Mm-hmm.
It's a protective factor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So at some point when it's released, it has to be released. It has to get out of the body. You need to get rid of it. It gets rid of itself some way, somehow. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no. So it's supposed to be. Let me read the definition. So cortisol is a steroid hormone produced by the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are on top of your kidneys. Now, Queen Edith has talked about addiction before. Okay, we can get into that later. How alcoholism and your kidneys and what you put in your body. So these are on top of your kidneys. So it plays a crucial role in various body functions, including metabolism, immune response, and stress management. So then with the fight or flight hormone, which is what it is, what's happening is you're in a situation, you're in a car accident, God forbid, you know, in a bank robbery, something, detrimental. And the fight or flight hormone, this cortisol, is what's going to trigger. And it's going to say, hey, there's this horrible thing happening. You're being robbed. So now you're not everything's shutting down. Your body, your functions are shifting. Now you're frozen, you can't move, or do you run? And that's how
Oh,
that
you're
cortisol
right.
is. So it's regulating how you respond to things. That's why people are scared of something and they're like urinate on
So
themselves.
it's a protective feature.
Mm-hmm.
It warns
Mm-hmm.
you of danger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
what happens is, so if you have high levels, it leads to things like weight gain, fatigue, and acne. Um, Lower levels, let me find this because I pulled this up. Let me see. Okay, so it manages your carbohydrates and fats and proteins. So it tells your body and your other organs how to move. And cortisol is attached to most of the cells in your body, actually. They're produced by the adrenal glands on the kidneys. So now we're going to keep inflammation down. It's going to regulate your blood pressure, regulate your blood sugar. It controls your sleep wake cycles, and it boosts energy so that you can handle stress and restore balance afterwards. So when we have too much of it, we're always on hyperdrive. Always all this chaotic, irrational way of thinking now plays into that. So yeah, let me see. I'm sorry, I'm reading y'all. And of course, you all know with blood pressure, or with stress, your blood pressure is gonna go up. If you all have migraines, chronic migraines, chronic bowel issues, a lot of those things are contributed to stress. Your hair
So
is
let me
falling out.
ask you this. Let me
Mm-hmm.
ask you. So it's activated in times of danger when, so you are in the bush, you see a snake, you run, it lets you run. That's cortisol activating you, so the flight comes in, or the
Right,
fight comes in. Let me get at something, let me kill that thing. Okay,
right.
but when you are in continued, you continue living in that state of fear and danger, whatever it is we call it. So you're constantly stressed, worried. This thing is constantly active and it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to it?
Well, that's something. It's supposed to be there. It's supposed to regulate. So it says, so cortisol receptors are in almost every cell of your body. They receive and use the hormones in different ways. So your needs will differ from day to day. For
Right.
instance, when your body is on high alert, then cortisol can alter or shut down functions. It's part of also, your what is it, your happy mood, your serotonin. It kind of ties in with that. Let me see. Hold on. There was some I wanted to read to you all. I should have highlighted it. So no, it regulates, because what it's doing is it's telling your body how to respond pretty much. Okay. So how to be kind, how to shut your mouth when you want to say something crazy. It plays into your mood and your level of motivation. If that makes any sense. So when it's in hyperdrive, because you're always stressed out, then now it's dictating how the rest of your body works, the rest of your organs work, the rest of the cells work. Because I'm sitting here talking to you, we're having this conversation. In the back of my head, I'm stressed out because after this, I got to do that. This week, I got to do this. All these different things. And again, now my mood is being it's irregular, I guess you want to say. That's where the
Right.
depression comes in, depression, anxiety. So again, it's more so hang on.
Let me read what I have here.
Okay.
It says when you are stressed, when stress becomes a chronic thing, it's prolonged. You're constantly stressed, okay? All the time stressed, not once a while something happened, you're stressed about it, you deal with it, and it goes. But you're chronically stressed all the time. What happens is that the body continues to release the cortisol. However, in this situation, it can have negative effects. Then again, you begin to have increased abdominal fats. Okay, you can sleep, you have sleep disturbances, you can stay asleep, or you struggle to sleep, you just can't sleep. You sleep, you're waking up, you're tossing and turning around. Okay, it weakens your immune system. Okay, so it increases your blood pressure. It causes, like Queen said, anxiety and depression in you. So when you see you're gaining weight and your belly fat keeps increasing, it's a sign that there is a chronic stress situation with you. I mean, one of those. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because it increases belly fat. Because then now you have too much cortisol in your system. And
Mm-hmm.
now, instead of it being helpful, it's giving you adverse effects.
There you go. So, like you said, so to answer your question, it is supposed to be in your body. Your body produces cortisol. Again, helping with metabolism, like you just said, burning fats and carbohydrates, regulating proteins, all those things. And then there lies risk of diabetes, with that immune function, the common cold. COVID was a horrible thing, for all of us. Flu, common cold, things like that. Blood pressure regulation, and then mood and cognitive function. So here's the thing, and I think we've talked about other systems that do this, and we don't realize how our bodies work together, and it's not just one thing. So you're thinking that you have heart issues, and so that's where the blood pressure issues, so it's coming from heart issues, but actually it's coming from your kidney failure or whatnot. You see, so again, like we talked about last week, understanding how the body works, and being in tune with your body, talking to your body and listening, more importantly, is important, because I don't think we have an understanding of the complexity. And it seems simple to us, just take a pill, do this, do that. But there's a whole lot of things going on in this shell that regulate things. So again, when you're looking at, poor kidney function, now here comes diabetes, here comes high blood pressure, arrhythmias, all these different things, and we don't understand those things, and that's how
And
we're having
all
these
these
conversations.
excesses, a lot of the time, excesses of cortisol. So you see, I if we can reduce learn to manage our stress levels. Now I think about some things that I was so stressed over, I was strung over a few years ago. And I wonder why I was so stressed about those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really wonder why. Because these things, in fact, sometimes you can't tell its effects until much later.
Mm-hmm.
Until much later. And then you have planted the seeds of stress. Why do we stay stressed?
Mm-hmm.
What is this that causing us so much stress? And especially when we don't have a plan to resolve the situation, we
Mm-hmm.
stress more. We struggle more. We get panic attacks because
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how to deal with a situation. We stress.
Mm-hmm.
And as we have said, stress and inflammation
Mm-hmm.
are the roots of a lot of the diseases you and I are dealing with.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Queen? I think when you speak on that, it's so true. But I think that a lot of people, it's been their way of life for so long, and it's a gradual thing to where you don't notice it. So then when you are actually, hitting that point, and you're on the brink of break, you've been in this state of mind so long, and it's the most dramatic things or even the simplest things that'll make you snap. Somebody in traffic, but you've been dealing with all this stress for so long. We're accustomed to it. I don't think a lot of people realize that's what's going on because it's just the way it is. But at work, I got to go to work. Work's difficult. I don't like my job. I don't like, my children are unruly. My husband doesn't listen. My wife is, and it's what it is. And you wake up and you go to bed to that. And then all of a sudden somebody cuts you off at the light and you're jumping out in the parking lot at Walmart ready to fight, because all this buildup. And now you're like, oh no, I'm something stressing me out. You've been in this state of disarray for so long. And that's why I said earlier, when that happens, I think a lot of times we don't realize it. And our bodies, our internal, start to readjust to what we're telling it. We're telling it to be angry. We're telling it, forget them. We don't care. And, we're telling our body this. And so after a while, now we're conditioned and accustomed. Well, she yells at her children all the time. So when she yells at people at work, it's not a flight or fight situation. When you get out of Walmart and try to fight somebody, you talk to your spouse like this. You see, and so now the body's accustomed to you being rowdy and ratchet to where something doesn't click and say, hey, don't do that. Hey, walk away. Hey, be quiet. Because this is what we do. And our body's going to respond. That is an issue. That is an issue, I think.
And for me, the problem is we don't take the time for self. In your calm moment, in your peaceful moment at home, whatever it is, we need to ask ourselves some questions. Why am I angry? Why am I so irritable? This is not what I used to be. What's going on with me? It's a genuine question. It's really a genuine question to ask yourself that. And one of the biggest things, and I think one of these days we're gonna do, maybe somewhere in the middle of September, we're gonna talk about listening. The skill of listening, not just to others, but to self. Because the body systems continues to communicate. The fact that you are stressed consistently, you are ready to bite at everybody, everything, everybody that impacts you. That crazy driver ran in front of you, cut you, you are sitting in your car. What if you get a heart attack? That driver is gone. What is your anger for? What are you angry at? What is eating you up? That thing is eating you and destroying everything inside of you. Is it a life worth living? Angry at all times? No. We need to make the time. We need to stop running from the things we are running from. And we need to begin to confront ourselves. What is going on inside? Because you're so angry. Find someone to talk to. Talk to yourself. Find a place of release because there is something at the bottom of it. Whatever it is, it can be dealt with. You can find it. Because 10 years down the line, maybe now things are better, you're feeling better. You begin to reap the fruits of the seeds that you sowed 10 years ago because you were angry. You fight. Your husband can't talk to you. Your wife can't talk to you. Your children can't talk to you. If you perfectionist, you are perfect. I used to be like that. Everything has to be placed a certain way. When I come and I place this purse here, and it shifted an inch, I am angry. Why? Your family can live because everything's got to be perfect. Your home is no more a home. What is eating you up? It's not them, it's you. It's not that meeting. You don't talk to this person. You don't talk to this person. You don't talk to this. You're angry. Nobody can correct you.
Mm-hmm.
You're killing you.
Mm-hmm.
You're killing you. At the end of the day, you're destroying your own life.
Mm-hmm.
You're squeezing your spirit out of your body. And not
Mm-hmm.
long after, you'll be gone. So the question is it worth it to be so angry? Is it worth it?
Mm-hmm. And it affects other people. And I know when you're in that state, you don't care. You're not. You might not even be aware. It might be selfish. I don't know how you want to peg it because I don't want to be the one to. I don't want to generalize
Queen,
things.
at some point,
Mm-hmm.
you should know you're always angry.
Oh yeah.
There was a point in our lives that we were not what we are now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What's changed? You see, when you go to therapy, we call them coping strategies. But basically, what they are is counterintuitive ways of dealing with the same problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to Queen G, and I don't know. I said something. She just yelled at me.
Mm-hmm.
And naturally I'll be like, oh wow, she yelled at me, I'm not going to talk to her again, or I'm upset she has no regard for me, or what. But I could, another Edith will say, hey Queen, do you realize you just yelled at me? Is everything okay with you? Because
Mm-hmm.
naturally that's not who she is. Is everything okay? What's going on? Why are you yelling? That's another way. So you figure out another way to deal with the same situation that is more solution based, that allows you, maybe one other way is to just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop, pause for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and just think about what you're going to say.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ask yourself, what do I hope to achieve by what I want to say? And
Mm-hmm.
will I get that result based on what I want to say?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, there's a tribe in Ghana. My dad's mother comes from that tribe. They can tell you you're stupid and you won't even know they're telling you you're stupid. That is
Mm-hmm.
tactful. That is a tactic, a strategic way of speaking, of dealing with situations.
Mm-hmm.
We have to learn that way. Being angry all the time at the world, who suffers? You.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why counseling helps. Counseling doesn't tell you what to do. A counselor will guide you into looking at situations
Mm-hmm.
from all perspectives, and help you with options to tackle the situation in ways that it's not conflicting, it's not confrontational,
Mm-hmm.
but it's solution based. And
Mm-hmm.
even if there's a confrontation, you know how to handle it. Because
Mm-hmm.
if we are both yelling at each other, really, nobody's listening.
Yeah.
And seriously, we need to be healthier.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only the food we're eating, the food has a role, but
Mm-hmm.
all these hormones in us, and the level of stress we put ourselves through,
Mm-hmm.
it's not worth it. So cortisol is good.
Yes.
But consistent, prolonged stress
Mm-hmm.
will release cortisol that will become harmful to the body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because consider if it's regulating even your immune system. So now I'm stressed out, and so now this cortisol is not working properly. So it's supposed to up my immune system. So now I'm always sick. Why do you have a cold in the summertime? I'm just saying. So what's happening where it all goes together. Um, you said something. Let me ask you, from a therapist point, have you seen are you aware of situations, or what are your thoughts on situations where people, so you have someone, 40, 56 years old, something happened in their childhood, whatever it is. Let's make it simple. Let's make it their parents get divorced. Okay. um Children are angry. I'm angry. I think it's my fault. It's always interesting how people think something's their fault. Anyways,
Especially children.
yeah. So now it's my fault. Now I'm angry. My mom angry. I'm angry. Whatever. I'm angry because my dad. All these different things, and we painted this picture as a child Okay, because we don't know the ins and outs. We don't know about this, we don't know. Decent parents or whatnot, but you're angry because he left, she left, whatever, but they still care. Angry all these years. So now we have the daddy issues. I hate that. That's a whole nother conversation too. And all of a sudden you're good. You're good, and you have these things, and when you see your parents, you're kind of in, you flashback, but you go to holidays and picnics and all that stuff. But then something happens. I don't know. Say you get a divorce, and now all this anger and this rage is back. But I mentioned the in between where now you're an adult, and you've dealt with it, but you see the parents and you flash back. But
You
you
don't
look
deal
like
with
you're
it,
good.
you
You look
numb
like
it.
you're happy.
So
But now
you
here's the
haven't
thing
dealt with
happens.
it. You've numbed it.
Mm-hmm.
You've pushed it back.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't, and that's what a lot of us do. we we
Mm-hmm.
we, we push it back so far, but it
Mm-hmm.
remains in our subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when some certain things will happen and it's going to trigger those memories, it's going to
Mm-hmm.
bring it all back, then you begin to react. You think it's the situation now, but you are now responding to something that you didn't deal with years ago.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is there. Your body is keeping record of it. Once
Mm-hmm.
again,
There
that
you go.
trauma is there. Whether it's a big T or a small T trauma, it is there. You
Mm-hmm.
haven't dealt with it. So if nothing happened and everything seems okay, that's fine. Dealing with friends, dealing with other things. But then again, something happens in your
Mm-hmm.
marriage, in your sister's marriage, or in
Mm-hmm.
one of your children do something, or your spouse does something. And then you
Mm-hmm.
remember, this is exactly what mom did. This is exactly what dad did.
Mm-hmm.
And this is da 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 da. And then you are triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when
Yep.
you become triggered, how you deal with it will show whether you actually dealt with it and you've developed the skill to handle it, or you haven't dealt with it and you become a child all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're trying to have a conversation, especially couples who've been married before and they are marrying again, like
Mm-hmm.
a second marriage, right? And then something happens and you go and talk to your spouse. The moment you start that conversation, he begins to respond in a way that shocks you, or she begins to respond in a way that shocks you. If you go deep, you find that it's not what you're saying, it's what it's reminding them of. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't deal with it. They haven't healed from it. So that relationship is stepping into the new relationship. And if care is not taken, if you don't get help, because as a spouse, you might not know, but you might think it's you, but it's coming from a previous experience, and you are
Mm-hmm.
reminding them of what that ex-wife or ex-husband did, and now they're replaying everything. Now you are like them. Now you're doing the same thing they're doing, and so now suddenly you become the bad person. No, we haven't dealt with it. We need to deal with it. We need to heal. That's healing. That's
Mm-hmm.
what we call healing. We need to deal with the things of the past. So if I'm saying something innocently to my husband, okay, and he's suddenly angry and flaring at me, what? What did I do? Then you recoil. Communication breaks down. It's innocent. You don't know his history. He
Mm-hmm.
hasn't dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do it. We numb it. We think a new relationship, a new school, a new job, a new thing. No, it's in you.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. Your subconscious. That's that book. That is that book.
I love it. I love it. Um, One more thing I want to address. So, with you said something about effective listening, and I want to say effective communication, because it goes both ways. It goes both ways. So, I think I said this a couple weeks ago. There are times where you have to realize, especially doing, therapy, doing coaching. I have a hard time. You can ask my queen mother in the chat. We talked about it before. If somebody says something to me, I'm gonna try to fix it. If I can't fix it, I'm just irritated. I'm like, why'd you even tell me about this? Like, what is the problem? And I've had to learn to ask, do you Here's your problem. Queen Eve comes to me with a problem and just da-da-da-da-da. So I have to say, do you want me to respond? Do you want insight, or do you just want me to listen? And then, but at some point, I can't keep listening to you rant and rave and complain and be disgruntled and hateful and all these things without it affecting me mentally. Grand Rising, thank you for joining. It weighs, now it's going to weigh on me. Now my all these things trickling down. And my point to that is, we have to get to a point where we understand, we have to respect people when we come with these issues with our stress. And counseling, therapy, coaching, there is nothing wrong with having a mental well-being and a mental balance, a healthy mental well-being and a mental balance. People are trained to do that. If I'm going through and Queen Eve's a therapist and she has what I need, but I don't want to talk to her, I'll just call my queen mother, because she'll say, oh yeah, it's okay, baby girl, it's all right, you were right, you should have done, I'm calling the friend that says, I'll call them, but I won't call somebody to get what I need to succeed, because it's scary for a lot of us to level up and say, hey, I need to change. Like she said, it's me, it's not anybody else, it's me. It doesn't matter what my husband did, what my children did, my parents did. How I respond to it right now is me. It does not matter. It's your account. And so I believe that having that therapist, that coach, that counselor there to keep you grounded should make you feel empowered rather than ashamed. Instead of walking around unknowingly causing destruction that started within yourself, don't you think you'd be like a superhero if you can just get some help and say, hey, look at me, I used to be like this, I was that, you think I'm like this, but today, and it's one day at a time. I think it's worth it.
It's interesting you talked about someone calling you and sometimes venting, and what we forget is that everybody doesn't have the capacity to deal with the level of situation we are going through. And sometimes they might try to solve it, they might say the wrong thing. They don't mean to hurt, but it's not what you want to hear. And because they're friends or because of familiarity, you snap at them. Why can't you just listen? Why can't you just know? Why are you trying to fix that? Not everybody has the capacity. If you need to vent, you need to know, because I'm dealing with my issues. Don't just jump at me, because when you called me, you don't know what I'm dealing with. The fact that I don't tell you doesn't mean, hi, Olu, welcome. So the truth, this is the truth I want to say to you. There's nothing wrong. So we shortchange ourselves when we don't have a therapist. Everybody must have a therapist or a counselor in their lives. Everyone. Everyone. Life changes, life stages, we affect us all the time. So you had children, you were busy running around. They go to where I come from, they go to high school, they go to boarding school. You're already halfway an empty nester. You are a mother who a stay-at-home mom. You don't know what to do with your life and your time. It affects you.
Yeah.
Life stages. You were single for a long time, now you are married, and this man or this woman is in your space. Suddenly she's putting curtains, she's doing, your home was okay as a single bachelor. You need someone to talk to. You can't put that burden on your friends and loved ones. And if it's a friend you believe has even me, I'm a therapist in training, having some training, knowing sometimes I am not ethically your therapist, even as your friend. So if you want to vent to someone, hey Queen, I'm going through something. Can you just listen? I need to get this out of my chest. But what I'm doing is I'm offloading on her, on top of what already she has. And she's a naturally, she's a fixer. She wants to solve it. So now you burden her. unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
She's worried, she's stressing. Now she has to offload it on someone. And guess who we do it to? The people that love us. Our husbands, because they're closest to
Mm-hmm.
us. We are comfortable. Our wives, they're closest to us. Our children. So let's let's vent where we know a person has the capacity to and is trained to and is
Mm-hmm.
not going to carry it on them. Because if I vent to Queen G, I know she's gonna worry about me. She's gonna try to fix it. Why would I do this to my friend?
Mm-hmm.
I can say one thing, but I can't call her and offload everything on her. That's
Mm-hmm.
toxic.
Yeah.
That's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Next time I'm calling, she doesn't even know what I'm gonna do. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the thing about us is that every time we listen, we are listening to give an answer. We are listening to respond. We assume people know what you assume
Mm-hmm.
you know what they're saying, how it's gonna end. So we don't hear. We just are thinking of what I'm gonna tell her right when she starts talking. Everybody's not trained to listen, though it's a skill. There's this book called The Lost Art of Listening. Powerful book. I don't have it here. I think I have it over there. Powerful book, The Lost Art of Listening. If only we will listen. And there are people who are trained to listen. It's not expensive. And you really are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It's money you spend at a grocery store buying all the junk food that you don't even eat, you don't even need. We need to read ourselves into getting better. We need to start
Mm-hmm.
eating books, eating knowledge. We need to get knowledge and be able to apply it to help along with and get the help we need from the right people. There are professionals who are trained to help you through it. Get the help. From January, starting from January, you can come to me. School will be over. School will be done. The semester ended. So
That's
let's
what's
go.
up.
I have 2 weeks of
Congratulations. And you know, one more
nothing.
thing, congratulations, Queen. She got her school shirt on. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, I have
Um,
my school shirt.
and you know what else? Accountability coaches. Those, that is an option. I know people sometimes seeking mental health is not about um not wanting to. Sometimes it is about finances, insurance resources. So an accountability coach is awesome. For instance, again, Queen Edith has touched on addiction. That is something that she's doing, addiction support. That's something she's doing in her training. And I know people that go to AANA or whatnot, and we've all seen it on TV. You have the accountability coaches where you have someone that does hold you accountable. And it doesn't matter. It's a non-biased situation. Probably shouldn't be a close friend, um, unless you have those boundaries. You have to have boundaries. You have to be willing to want what you want. And that's my thing with coaching is, what do you want? I can't tell you what to do. What is it that you want? How do you want to get there? What has worked for you? And so looking at that and just being honest with that is going to be so important. I don't know how we got off topic.
You see, because we're talking about stress.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
seriously, these are the things that cause us stress. The goal is to minimize prolonged stress,
Mm-hmm.
which is detrimental to your health. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have to go talk to somebody, then do it. It's worth it.
And you
I
know what?
think it's worth it.
Yes,
There are
and one more thing.
people.
Well, I'm sorry, please. I thought you were done. Go ahead, please.
No, finish.
No, I'm not actively, effectively listening.
Actually,
Don't.
I finished saying what I was gonna say. I just went running my mouth too much.
No, you always have good word. I was gonna say this with stress, and to tie it in with the cortisol and the adrenal gland that's attached to the kidneys, and Queen Edith doing the addiction part. Think about how many people are dealing with alcoholism because of stress.
Oh, a lot of it.
So now you got the kidney failure. You see what I'm saying? Now the
A
adrenal glands,
lot of
now it's
it.
not working. You see? So think about that. and like what's happening in your brain where like the adrenal gland is not producing properly because of alcohol abuse. And now it's so much more difficult for you to pull yourself up from that situation because your body's been conformed. That cortisol is all out of whack. And in your head, that stress level now, and the bottle or the drugs or whatever it is, the sex, the gambling, whatever it is. But we'll go with the alcohol. So we're talking about
A lot of people who
mm-hmm.
are dealing with addiction are numbing something they don't want to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Look at your veterans.
Mm-hmm.
They are numbing something. They don't want to remember things. They don't want to think about it. So that feels good. That feels good. That calms them down. They don't have to think about it. But it's momentarily. In the meantime, it's creating chaos, distraction in your life.
But does it feel good? Or does it just feel like, does it feel safe? Does it feel good to know that you're going to get I'm not judging anyone. I promise you all. I'm not, this is not about anybody, but let's have the conversation real quick before we go. Does it feel good to do that numbing, or does it just feel safe? And that's when you
It
said earlier,
feels
before I met,
good.
you keep running around mad. I don't know. If you keep waking up every morning, vomiting, hungover, don't know where you're at and how you got there, does it?
In
Does it?
the moment I got it, it's relieving. But the thing is, it's short-lived, and the consequences of it, waking up in the gutter, waking up in a bathroom where somebody had raped you, waking up strange places, not knowing where I've been. Listen, let me tell you, it's not happening to adults. It's happening in our schools, elementary schools.
Mm-hmm.
So what are these children dealing with at home?
Mm-hmm.
Parents, when you are fighting each other, you are angry at each other, you won't talk to each other, you are talking at and looking down at each other, your children are suffering.
Mm-hmm.
The stories. Elementary school, from K all the way to high school, they watch your mom and dad fight, screaming,
Mm-hmm.
and you forget that these children pick on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And children, when mom and dad are fighting, they think it's their fault. So manage your stress, talk to yourself, be quiet, walk away. Let peace reign in your homes. This topic is changed. Queen, I think it's time to end this.
It is. Because we're out of time, not because it got off topic. We don't want to lose you all because we're going to dive in. So, with that being said, didn't I tell you we always go deep? Um, I can't even say anything else because we'll go. I'm just going to keep talking. So, real quick, if we want to touch on cortisol, natural cortisol boosters, and we'll get out of here. Natural cortisol boosters, leafy greens, omega-3 fatty acids, nuts and seeds. I think Queen was talking about nuts and seeds earlier with the guy in the New Year. Whole grain, vitamin C rich foods, um, doing yoga, strength training, meditation. So those are some things to increase your cortisol levels. You may have thought we got off topic, but we tied it in with stress, and that's why we make sure we set the stress hormone. So please definitely get your levels checked. Visit your physician or do what you do on that holistic tip, however that works. But know what's going on. Do not you can always overdo things like you can underdo things. So just be careful when you're doing supplements, even though they're all natural, we can always overdo it sometimes. So just listen to your body again. We want to wish you all well. We want to wish you all So much peace and grace and mercy. And we wish upon ourselves too. It's 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 been a journey. It's been a journey, but we've enjoyed growing with you all. And we're going to finish out this year as stress free as possible. So please again,
You know
like, share,
something about
subscribe.
stress. When we even when we stress, we can solve the problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stress doesn't even allow you to think straight through the problem, to
Mm-hmm.
deal with it.
Mm-hmm. All
It's
righty.
not worth it.
It's not. So protect your energy, protect your peace, love on one another. You got anything else, Queen?
Life is short. I wish I knew this even 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I lived my life stressed, stressed, so stressed. So Queen, you saw the latter part of it. So stressed. And it has affected me in more ways than I thought it would. Didn't even think stress has that level of impact on your health. Listen, if you can't fix it, you can go get help. Maybe you should pray. Maybe you should question yourself. Why this? What can I do? Why am I feeling this way? Question it. Interrogate yourself. Interrogate your body. Get to know you. Get the help you need.
Mm-hmm.
Because too much of everything is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's what they said when I was growing up. Too much of good food is even, too much of anything, whatever you call good food. Too much of everything. It's out of, when it becomes out of balance,
Mm-hmm.
your life becomes out of balance.
Mm-hmm.
The things I was stressing about eventually work themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to do a whole lot. But my health, no, you're worth it. You're
Mm-hmm.
worth not stressing over things. Deal with it. I've learned to write things down. Things that, okay, I need to do this because when I get anxious, I write, okay, I do it and I cross it and I begin to feel better. Learn to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Learn to pause before you talk.
Mm-hmm.
Be conscious, be mindful of your life. Be aware of everything you do for and in your life. Be. This is Peak Wellness Hour. We want you to be well. We don't want you to do well just on your business or in your career and your health is going haywire. Your marriage is going terrible. Your relationships are terrible. We want you to be whole, all around whole, and it is possible and it is achievable. Taking those walks,
Mm-hmm.
not brisk walk, walking out there. I encourage people to sit up, put their feet on the ground, ground themselves, ground you. The little things of life, you'll be amazed. Not the big things. Take the time for you, get to know you, enjoy your company. You don't always have to have a boyfriend, you don't have to always be surrounded with crowd to feel something. Start to enjoy you, get to know you alone. There's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Before other come in, you are grounded. Have an amazing week. Till next time.
Till next time, we wish you peace, love, and blessings. Peace.